My second battle at CanCon was against Ryan from Melbourne. He was playing Assassins. He was excellent with the rules and was very competitive. We played on this beautiful board, which I think is from Battle Kiwi. I really like the space age hexagonal design on the central platform, though I'd never played on anything like it before and wasn't sure how it would play. In the end, I was really happy with it. I'm not totally sure on my opponent's army list, particularly the cheerleaders, but there was a core fire team with the Moyibs, particularly the heavy rocket launcher one. There was also an Asawira lieutenant who played no part in the battle. There was at least one Gulam. I say later it could be a Fire Day or a Matawir because they have smoke, but it must have been a specialist because it activated a console, so I think it's the Gulam. The mission was unmasking, where you have to activate 3 consoles to unmask an HVT each time. One of them is the designated target and the others are decoys. The goal is to kill the designated target, but the decoys can earn you points as well. I deployed my HVTs here, here, and here, and Ryan put his here, here, and here. I made this one the designated target because it was the least defended, and I was trying to play mind games. He guessed it first, so the mind games didn't work at all. Since the right side of the board was the most open, and I expected to draw a lot of fire moving up it, I decided to put my Karakuri fire team here. I also put my killer hacking device Ryukin on this side of the board, over here, since she'd be in a good position to assassinate the HVTs that I intended to unmask first, while flitting around in Cybermask. I put the heavy rocket launcher Ryukin here to participate in the shooting war expected to dominate this side of the board. I deployed my Samurai Core here, ready to go onto the platform, and Yojimbo to the left over here. Again, my Kaisotsu were mostly facing backwards. Ryan deployed a core fire team here, and an Asawira here, and another hacker next to him. There's also an impersonation marker here, and there are a few other smaller pieces scattered around his deployment zone. In my first turn, I activated the right console with my killer hacking device Ryukin and revealed the rightmost HVT, which unfortunately was a decoy. I moved her up to kill the HVT, but unfortunately I immediately wandered into the line of fire of Ryan's only non-prone piece, this heavy rocket launcher back here, which could see through this fire lane, and I knew she was going to die. And I couldn't see the HVT yet, so I decided to Trinity the hacker back here, and both the Ryukin and the hacker died. Next, I moved my Samurai Core up onto the platform and took up positions along here, with the Tanko having a pretty good line of fire over the board with his missile launcher. Unfortunately, the Flamen Spear Tanko was blocked by this wall. I kept the Kempe Tai prone to preserve his life and the fire team bonuses. And while I was doing all this, I ran the Ford Observer Domer up to the central antenna and activated it before running him back here. I revealed the central HVT, and this one was the designated target, which unfortunately I could do nothing about because I had no orders left. But I felt pretty good because I'd already revealed 2 HVTs, including the designated target, and they were both on the side of the board I had the most control of. In Ryan's first turn, he moved his heavy rocket launcher up into this tower, while keeping him part of the core fire team, and proceeded to dominate the entire board from there. He started by killing my missile launcher Tanko, and then pumped fire into the Karakuri down this massive fire lane, but I gutsed her away before she took any damage. He moved a remote up on my right flank, but otherwise mostly consolidated his position with the fire team. Annoyingly, my heavy rocket launcher Ryukin's line of fire was blocked by this tower. In my second turn, I moved my Karakuri up to here and killed this decoy with my Domaru in melee. I took some ineffectual pot shots at the heavy rocket launcher but couldn't displace him. Trying to feign that the rightmost HVT was my designated target, I also moved this Kaisotsu into suppressive fire. Yojimbo moved up and put his crazy koalas down around the one console I thought Ryan could feasibly access. Most importantly, my Kempe Tai took aim at the designated target through here, and after several failed face-to-face rolls against the HVT's dodge, he finally managed to put it down. In his second turn, Ryan took out Yojimbo and my remote with his fire team. He moved his fire team up and activated this console to correctly reveal my designated target. He left his heavy rocket launcher behind, and it managed to kill Yuriko Oda and put 2 wounds on my Karakuri, and forced my overwatching Kaisotsu to go prone. But despite these losses, at this point I was feeling pretty good, because if the game ended, I was currently 9 points up to 0, and I hadn't lost any of my important pieces. In my third and final turn, I moved my Samurai and even Kaisotsu to cover these 2 HVTs with some coordinated orders. I was annoyed that I'd taken my 2 Ryukin list, and he once again failed to achieve anything, so I moved him up in camo a bit, and tried to get him to cover the 2 consoles Ryan hadn't activated, since even if he managed to kill my designated target, he'd still lose if he couldn't activate a second console. My Karakuri could also see, and I moved the Domaru even further along to chop down this remote melee. During Ryan's third turn, the final turn of the game, the tournament organisers appeared and started rushing us, because the next round of games had to finish before the CanCon organisers closed the venue. I don't think it made a difference to anything, and Ryan handled it extremely well, but it was a bit stressful. The main thing that happened, as a result, was that we focused purely on the stuff that could have a direct effect on the outcome of the game. The first thing Ryan did in his final turn was pop his impersonator Friday out and slaughter my designated target. I expected this to happen since I'd invested nothing in discovering the Friday before this point, but I was betting on Ryan being unable to activate another console and kill another HVT. However, the Friday annoyingly survived the AROs I'd moved his way. Ryan had a smoke trooper still back here. I can't remember if it was a Friday or a Matawea, and he laid down smoke and legged it for the central console. Because of the smoke, my Karakuri was unable to ARO, and my heavy rocket launcher Ryukin was only able to ARO when he actually appeared to press the button. He missed, of course, his only shot of the game. And Ryan's trooper succeeded on his whip roll, unmasked the HVT over here, and the Friday wandered over and killed her as well. This won him the game 6-4 in the final actions of the game. It was a frustrating way to lose, fluffing pretty much every roll on the last turn, especially after his designated target had won so many face-to-face dodge rolls. But it was really within my control, because I hadn't done anything to try and stop his impersonator Friday earlier. I probably could have used the coordinated orders to cover the other consoles rather than both HVTs as well, considering to win he would have needed to activate one of them. Ryan would end up going 4 from 4 and playing the final round in contention for the title, so in the end I was pretty satisfied to have finished close to a win.